3 days before one of the most important matches of their grass court seasons, Alex Eala and Rebeka Masarova were standing on the same side of the net. They were not rivals. They were teammates. On the practice courts in Birmingham, they exchanged forehands, discussed tactics, laughed during breaks, and worked together as doubles partners. Everything about their interactions suggested cooperation. Yet, tennis has a way of turning familiarity into conflict overnight. By the time the sun rises on semi-final day, friendship, preparation, and shared experience become irrelevant. The same two players who spent the week helping each other improve will walk onto center court knowing that only one of them can continue the journey. The other will pack her bags and leave Birmingham wondering how close she came. That is what makes this semi-final far more compelling than a typical WTA 125 match. On paper, it is simply a battle between the tournament's top seed and an experienced challenger ranked outside the top 100. But beneath the rankings lies a far deeper story. This is a match shaped by ambition, timing, opportunity, and the unique tension that comes from competing against someone who already knows your game. For Alex Eala, Birmingham represents much more than another tournament stop on the calendar. It represents a chance to continue one of the most important rises in modern Philippine tennis. Every victory she earns this week pushes her closer to a position that seemed almost impossible just a few years ago. She has already broken barriers, exceeded expectations, and established herself among the most promising young players on the WTA Tour. But the next step is often the hardest. Reaching the top is one challenge. Staying there and continuing to climb is another entirely. When Eala arrived in Birmingham, she carried the disappointment of a painful exit at Roland Garros. Her clay court campaign ended far earlier than she hoped, and many players would have needed time to recover emotionally from such a setback. Tennis seasons move quickly, however. There is rarely time for self-pity. There is rarely time to dwell on missed opportunities. The tour keeps moving, and successful players learn how to move with it. What has been most impressive about Eala this week is not simply the fact that she has won. It is the way she has won. She has looked refreshed. She has looked focused. Most importantly, she has looked comfortable. Sometimes a player steps onto a different surface and suddenly everything begins to make sense. The shots feel cleaner. The movement feels more natural. The instincts become sharper. That appears to be exactly what has happened to Eala on the grass courts of Birmingham. Her opening round performance immediately caught attention. From the first few games, she played with confidence and authority. There was no sign of hesitation, no indication that she was carrying emotional baggage from previous defeats. Instead, she imposed her game from the baseline, controlled rallies with aggressive shot-making, and advanced comfortably. It was the type of performance that sends a message to the rest of the draw. Not just that you can win, but that you can dominate. The second round presented a more difficult challenge. Momentum shifted at times. Pressure increased. Her opponent began finding solutions and forced Eala to respond. This is often where matches become dangerous. The difference between good players and great players is frequently revealed during uncomfortable moments. Anyone can play well when everything is working. The true test comes when things stop working. Eala passed that test. Rather than allowing frustration to grow, she adjusted. Rather than waiting for the match to come back to her, she actively took control. Her intensity increased. Her decision-making sharpened. She trusted her game under pressure and ultimately emerged with another straight sets victory. Those moments matter because they reveal a player's mental state. They reveal confidence that goes beyond technique. The quarterfinal reinforced the impression that something special may be happening this week. Eala looked increasingly comfortable with every passing game. She controlled rallies, dictated tempo, and consistently found answers whenever her opponent attempted to shift momentum. By the end of the match, she had once again advanced without dropping a set. That statistic deserves attention. Not a single set lost. In professional tennis, especially on grass, that level of consistency is difficult to achieve. Grass rewards aggressive players but can also produce unexpected momentum swings. A few points can change everything. One poor service game can undo an entire set. Yet Eala has navigated the tournament with remarkable composure. The reason becomes clearer when you watch her play. Her left-handed serve creates angles that many opponents struggle to handle. The ball moves differently. The trajectories feel unfamiliar. Right-handed players often find themselves pulled wide off the court, immediately surrendering valuable positioning. Once Eala creates that opening, her aggressive baseline game takes over. She attacks early, strikes cleanly from both wings, and refuses to give opponents time to settle into comfortable rally patterns. Grass rewards exactly those qualities. The faster pace of the surface enhances her strengths. Points develop differently than they do on clay. There is less time to react, less time to recover, less time to defend. Instead of grinding through extended exchanges, players must make quick decisions and commit fully to their choices. For Eala, that environment appears increasingly natural. Perhaps the most encouraging sign is her body language. Throughout the week, she has looked relaxed. Focused but relaxed. Competitive but not tense. There is a difference. The best performances often occur when athletes find that balance between intensity and freedom. Too much pressure can suffocate performance. Too little urgency can reduce sharpness. Eala appears to have found the perfect middle ground. That balance becomes especially important when considering what is at stake. This tournament is not only about Birmingham, it is also about Wimbledon. Every ranking point matters. Every victory carries consequences beyond the immediate result. The difference between being seeded and unseeded at Wimbledon can dramatically alter a player's path through the draw. A seeded player receives protection. A seeded player avoids certain dangerous opponents in the early rounds. A seeded player gains opportunities that others do not. For Eala, those possibilities are becoming increasingly real. A deep run this week could move her significantly closer to securing that valuable position. Suddenly, every game matters. Every service hold matters. Every break point matters. These are not simply moments within a single tournament. They are pieces of a much larger story. And that story now leads directly to Rebeka Masarova. Standing across the net will be a player whose ranking tells only part of the truth. Tennis history is filled with competitors whose talent exceeds their ranking, and Masarova belongs firmly in that category. At first glance, some fans may see a player ranked outside the world's elite and assume this semi-final heavily favors Eala. That assumption could prove dangerous, because Masarova has spent years demonstrating that she possesses the tools to challenge almost anyone when her game is clicking. Her height immediately stands out. Standing over 6 feet tall, she brings physical advantages that few opponents can match. Her serve can become a weapon. Her reach allows her to retrieve balls that others cannot touch. Her ability to strike flat, penetrating ground strokes becomes especially dangerous on grass, where the surface rewards aggressive shot-making and quick court positioning. More importantly, she arrives in Birmingham carrying her own motivation, her own ambitions, and her own belief that this tournament could become a turning point. And when two players arrive at the same destination believing they are meant to leave with the trophy, something has to give. Rebeka Masarova's journey to this semi-final has been very different from Alex Eala's, but that is precisely what makes this matchup so fascinating. While Eala enters the contest carrying the momentum of a rising star steadily climbing the rankings, Masarova arrives as a player who has spent years fighting to prove that her talent deserves more recognition than her current ranking suggests. She has experienced breakthrough moments before. She has produced victories over elite opponents. She has shown flashes of a level capable of competing with some of the biggest names in women's tennis. The challenge has never been whether she possesses the ability. The challenge has been sustaining it long enough to transform potential into permanence. That is why Birmingham feels significant for her. Every athlete reaches moments in their career when a single week can alter an entire narrative. A strong run can rebuild confidence. A strong run can remind both the player and the tennis world of what is possible. For Masarova, this tournament feels like one of those opportunities. She has arrived with confidence, survived difficult situations, and gradually built momentum with each round. Her path through the draw has not been easy. One of her most impressive victories came against a player whose game is specifically designed for success on grass courts. That result immediately turned heads because defeating a grass court specialist on her preferred surface requires more than talent. It requires belief. It requires discipline. Most importantly, it requires the willingness to trust your own strengths instead of adjusting your identity to match your opponent. Masarova did exactly that. She played aggressively. She embraced the conditions. She trusted her serve and her power. The reward was a convincing victory that announced her presence in the tournament. Then came the quarterfinals. That match revealed another side of her personality. It revealed resilience. After taking the opening set, she lost momentum and watched her opponent fight back into the contest. Lesser competitors sometimes panic in those situations. They begin thinking about what could go wrong. They start protecting leads instead of pursuing victory. Masarova did the opposite. When the deciding set arrived, she elevated her level dramatically. Point by point, game by game, she took control. Her opponent found fewer opportunities to attack. The rallies became increasingly one-sided. The confidence in Masarova's body language became impossible to ignore. By the time the final point was played, she had delivered a dominant deciding set that reminded everyone why her name continues to surface whenever discussions turn toward dangerous floaters on the WTA Tour. That performance should serve as a warning to Eala. Because when Masarova finds rhythm, she becomes extremely difficult to stop. Her physical tools create problems that cannot easily be solved. At her height, she covers the court differently than most players. Her reach extends rallies that appear finished. Her serve can generate free points. Her forehand can flatten out and rush opponents into uncomfortable defensive positions. On grass, those strengths become even more dangerous. The surface rewards first-strike tennis. It rewards players who take initiative. It rewards players willing to attack. Masarova checks every one of those boxes. Yet the most intriguing aspect of this semi-final has very little to do with rankings points, or tournament draws. It has everything to do with what happened before the match ever began. Most opponents spend days preparing through video analysis and scouting reports. They study tendencies. They review previous matches. They search for weaknesses. While useful, that information remains indirect. Watching footage is never the same as sharing a court with someone. Eala and Masarova have done much more than watch each other. They practiced together. They competed together. They stood side by side as doubles partners. That changes everything. When players partner in doubles, they inevitably reveal pieces of their game that normally remain hidden. They discuss strategy. They communicate openly. They identify patterns. They explain preferences. Without realizing it, they provide valuable information. Every conversation becomes intelligence. Every practice session becomes scouting. Every observation becomes potential ammunition. Masarova has watched Eala from only a few feet away. She has seen how Eala reacts after mistakes. She has seen how she prepares for important points. She has observed her routines and tendencies in a way television cameras never capture. Likewise, Eala has gained the same advantage. She has witnessed Masarova's movement up close. She has studied the rhythm of her service motion. She has observed subtle details that analysts might miss entirely. That shared knowledge creates a fascinating psychological battle. Because both players know that the other possesses information. Both players understand that familiar patterns may no longer work. Both players know adjustments will be necessary. Somewhere early in the match, one of them will attempt something unexpected. One of them will deliberately break a pattern. One of them will try to disguise intentions that would otherwise be predictable. The chess match begins long before the first ball is struck. From a tactical perspective, Eala's left-handed serve remains one of the most important factors. Against many right-handed players, that serve creates immediate discomfort. The angle drags opponents wide and opens large areas of the court for the next shot. It is a pattern that has helped Eala control countless service games throughout her career. Masarova, however, presents a unique challenge. Her wingspan allows her to reach serves that would trouble shorter opponents. Her court coverage helps neutralize angles. Her ability to absorb pace gives her opportunities to stay in points that others might lose immediately. That means Eala cannot rely exclusively on her favorite patterns. Variety becomes essential. She must mix locations. She must vary pace. She must keep Masarova guessing. Predictability could become dangerous. On the opposite side, Masarova's strategy appears relatively straightforward. She must serve well. She must dictate with her forehand. She must force Eala into uncomfortable defensive positions. Most importantly, she must avoid allowing Eala to settle into the aggressive rhythm that has carried her through the tournament. If Masarova can consistently pressure Eala's second serve, the match becomes considerably more competitive. If she can win quick points behind her own serve, pressure begins to shift. And pressure, particularly in semi-final matches, can transform everything. The fascinating reality is that both players enter this contest with reasons to believe they should win. Eala has the ranking advantage. She has the tournament momentum. She has not lost a set all week. She carries the confidence of a player moving steadily toward the highest level of the sport. Masarova counters with experience. She counters with power. She counters with the knowledge that she has already defeated strong opponents on this surface and has the game to challenge anyone when her confidence is flowing. That combination creates the perfect recipe for a semi-final worthy of far more attention than its tournament category might suggest. Because this is no longer simply about reaching a final. It is about proving a point. For Eala, it is a chance to demonstrate that her rise is not slowing down. For Masarova, it is an opportunity to remind everyone that her best tennis remains capable of producing something special. And when motivations become that powerful, matches often produce unforgettable moments as important as tactics, rankings, and statistics may be. This Birmingham semi-final ultimately comes down to something much bigger. For both Alex Eala and Rebeka Masarova, this match represents an opportunity that could shape the next phase of their season. For Eala, Birmingham has become far more than just another tournament stop. Every victory this week has strengthened the belief that her game is perfectly suited for grass courts. After the disappointment of her early exit at Roland Garros, she arrived in England looking for a fresh start. Instead of carrying frustration from the clay season, she has used the surface change as a chance to reset mentally and physically. The results have been impressive. She has moved through the draw without dropping a set, playing with confidence, discipline, and aggression. More importantly, she has looked comfortable. Her left-handed serve has created difficult angles, her baseline game has been sharp, and her movement has appeared natural. Everything about her performances suggests a player who believes she belongs on this stage. But there is another reason this match matters so much. Wimbledon is approaching quickly. A deep run in Birmingham could provide valuable ranking points and potentially improve her position heading into the most prestigious tournament in tennis. Being seeded at Wimbledon can make a huge difference. It offers protection from facing top players in the early rounds and increases the chances of building momentum during the tournament. Every match Eala wins now carries significance beyond Birmingham itself. Standing in her way is Rebeka Masarova, a player with ambitions of her own. Masarova's career has often been defined by flashes of brilliance. She has defeated high-level opponents, reached important stages of tournaments, and shown the kind of talent that suggests she should be ranked much higher. The challenge has always been consistency. This week, however, she has looked dangerous. Her powerful serve, aggressive ground strokes, and physical presence have allowed her to impose herself on opponents. On grass, those strengths become even more effective. When she is confident, she can overwhelm players with pace and pressure. What makes this semi-final unique is the relationship between the two players. Just days ago, they were practicing together and competing as doubles partners. They shared ideas, observed each other's habits, and learned details that opponents rarely get to see. Now all of that information becomes a weapon. Each player knows more about the other than most opponents ever could. That familiarity adds an extra layer of intrigue. The match becomes more than a battle of skill. It becomes a battle of adjustments, strategy, and mental strength. At some point during the semi-final, there will be a turning point, a crucial service game, a breakpoint opportunity, a tense rally that shifts momentum. One player will seize the moment, and the other will be forced to respond. That is often where great matches are decided. For Eala, it is a chance to move one step closer to a title and continue her rise toward the top of the sport. For Masarova, it is an opportunity to prove that her recent success is no accident. Only one player will advance to the final. And when they step onto the grass in Birmingham, everything that happened before will become irrelevant. The rankings, predictions, and expectations will disappear. All that will matter is who performs when the pressure is highest.